sorry that I didn't hit you back when you called my line. Oh, did you even need to talk?
Had a feeling we had something. Could have seen it in your eyes. Took a second, but I might.
Namaskar, respected CMD, Directors, Chief Vigilance Officer, Senior Commandant CISF, Chief General Managers, Heads of Departments, Senior Officers, Office Bearers of Steel Executive Association, Leaders of Trade Unions, Representatives from SC/ST Association, OBC Association and WIPs. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to all. I welcome you to the address by our respected CMD at the start of a new financial year 2022-23. It's great to see everyone together under one roof after a break of 2 years owing to the COVID-19 pandemic. The financial year 2021-22 has indeed been a turnaround year for VSP. This year, we could surpass our earlier peaks and we achieved record performance in many areas. Let us now glide through the journey of 2021-22 through a brief PowerPoint presentation covering the performance highlights of 2021-22 and focus areas and targets for the new fiscal 2022-23. May I now invite my colleague Mrs. Neha Priya for the presentation.
Respected CMD, Directors, Chief Vigilance Officer, Chief General Managers, Heads of Departments, Representatives of C, Unions, SC/ST Association, OBC Association, WIPs, and all my senior colleagues. A very good afternoon to all of you. On behalf of CSM Department, I welcome you all to this presentation. During the course of this presentation, we will reflect on the macro environment that prevailed in the last fiscal, retrospect our performance in the year 2021-22, and also focus on the areas required to achieve our targets for 2022-23. The year 2021-22 witnessed Indian economy bounce back into the positive zone with growth across major sectors, as GDP grew by 8.9%. 10% growth was registered in construction segment, 10.5% in manufacturing, 12.6% in mining, and 7.8% in utility services. Positive signs of all-round growth can be seen with 13.7% growth in index of industrial production. India's exports reached a record high of $418 billion with a growth of 40% over CPLY. Signs of positivity were also witnessed in Indian steel industry as crude steel production grew by 16%, finished steel production surged by 18%, finished steel exports by 25%, finished steel imports dropped marginally by 2%, and finished steel consumption increased by 11%. RINL also created a wave of positivity by registering positive PBT after a period of 6 years and has thus made the year 2021-22 a memorable one, a year of turnaround for RINL. Kudos to the RINL collective. RINL registered a net profit of Rs 690 crores during 2021-22, while surpassing its best ever sales and production performance. A big round of applause for RINL collective for this performance. We registered best ever production of 5.14 million ton of saleable steel, achieved best ever sales volume of saleable steel of 5.22 million ton. We also achieved best ever top line performance of Rs 28,245 crores. Our production performance in 2021-22 will be best known for reviving confidence in our strengths and capabilities. We registered best ever oven pushings with a growth of 27%, best ever gross sinter production with 25% growth, and best ever hot metal production with 23% growth. It is pertinent to note that hot metal production of 5.774 million ton by RINL is the highest from any single unit public sector steel plant in any financial year. Kudos to the BF collective. We achieved best ever liquid steel production with 23% growth, best ever saleable steel production with 23% growth, best ever STM production with 61% growth, and best ever power generation from CPP2 with 58% growth. Best ever performances were also achieved for sized ore preparation, base mix preparation, and liquid steel production in SMS2. Kudos to the Works Collective. There was significant growth in production in mills, with 33% growth in billet mill production, 54% in bar mill, 63% in SBM, 22% in WRM1, 18% in WRM2, and 55% in MMSM. Best ever techno-economic parameters were also achieved in BF coke rate, nut coke rate, PCI rate, labor productivity, and specific water consumption. Improvements were achieved in LD productivity, specific energy consumption, and CO2 emissions. During the year, 22 new grades were developed to meet market demand and to cater to specific customer requirement. RINL provided 10,727 tons of oxygen to support the healthcare system during COVID crisis. We also achieved best ever outward rate retention time and number of freights dispatched for all commodities. All-round performance by marketing team resulted in best ever sales since inception. 18% increase in sales volume was achieved, which stood at 5.218 million ton, and 57% growth was achieved in sales turnover. 37% growth in exports, 18% in value-added steel, and 44% growth in byproduct sales. Best ever sales value for any month of Rs 3,685 crores was achieved in March 2022. Best ever sales was achieved in all regions and product segments. Kudos to the marketing collective for this stupendous performance. Projects highlights during the year include commissioning of forged wheel plant in September, dispatch of first consignment of 51 forged wheels to Indian Railways in December, and till date 687 wheels have been dispatched to various workshops of Indian Railways. Kudos to the projects collective. Moving on to highlights during the year, procurement of new coals, Lear Coking Coal and Gregory HCC, earnings of Rs 4.5 crores through charter agency fee, savings of Rs 69 crores through negotiations with suppliers, realization of 28 crores through disposal of scrap materials, savings of Rs 20 crores in ocean freight charges through Cape vessels instead of Panamax, coordinated with NMDC for bill discounting mechanism, and RINL is ranked number 3 in top CPSE buyers on GEM with total procurement value through GEM at Rs 1728 crores. HR highlights during the year include creation of a dedicated cell, RINL Seva, to cater to the needs of retired and retiring employees, introduction of online generation of credit letter for CT and MRI, leading to drastic reduction of cycle time, introduction of new policies, learning and development policy, RINL mentoring policy, and policy on prevention, prohibition, and redressal of sexual harassment of employees at workplace. RINL spent an amount of over Rs 11.49 crores towards various CSR projects, and an exclusive jumbo COVID care facility with a capacity of 520 beds was created at VSGH to handle the COVID crisis. Coming to finance highlights, prudent financial management resulted in interest saving of Rs 80 crores and income tax refund of Rs 2.69 crores. Persuaded with SBI and arranged LC sublimit of Rs 1,000 crores to facilitate opening of LCs for coking coal procurement. Sanction of Rs 960 crores at 7.5% rate of interest from SBI
for a period of 6 months in order to manage the additional cash outflow, availing non-LC based bill discounting by NMDC at a reduced interest rate of 4 to 4.3% with SBI. NMDC discounted the bills of around Rs 1100 crores. Organized channel finance partners with different banks to the tune of Rs 975 crores, which results in improvement in turnover and reduction of stress on credit to customers. Although 2021-22 was a turnaround year for RINL, but the feat was not at all easy, as RINL faced many challenges in the form of COVID's second and third wave, high raw material cost, cash crunch, availability of oxygen, aging coke oven batteries, and availability of coal. The year 21-22 can be summarized as a year of contrasting halves, where the challenge of growth and recovery was located in a parade of riveting contrasts. Our profit after tax during H1 was Rs 1,008 crores, which came down to minus 318 crores during H2. This was mainly on account of increased coking coal prices. The price of premium hard coking coal increased around 5.3 times from April 2021 to March 2022. A meager 35% increase in NSR during the same period could not cover the dent in margin created by increased coking coal prices. Also, availability of coking coal emerged as a challenge in Q4, and in order to overcome these challenges, RINL had to resort to 2 BF operations in order to optimize the production level. As a result, expenditure on coking coal could be reduced and inventory could also be reduced significantly. Also, the time was judiciously utilized for repair of coke oven batteries. Going forward, domestic steel demand looks promising with infrastructure thrust by Government of India in Budget 2022-23. But in the same period, we will be fraught with challenges like high crude oil prices, disruption in global supply chain due to Russia-Ukraine war, high inflation, and high coal prices. So, the need of the hour is to focus on critical high-impact areas in 2022-23, like strategize sales to ensure healthy cash flow and healthy margin, usage of cost-effective coal blends, operating PCI at high levels and also increase usage of slime, prudent fund management for better liquidity position, improve equipment availability and reliability to mitigate equipment-related risk on operation, restart third BF operations at opportune time, and achieve production targets of 6.1 million ton of hot metal at the rate of 16,700 tons per day with a growth of 6%, production of 6.02 million ton of liquid steel at the rate of 112 heats per day with a growth of 9%, and production of 5.5 million ton saleable steel at the rate of 15,100 tons per day with a growth of 3%. At this point of time, it is pertinent to take a moment to look at our journey so far. VSP achieved net profits for the first time in the year 2002-03, which was a turnaround year for the company. We advanced with impactful momentum and became debt-free in 2003, wiping out our accumulated losses by 2006, and went on to continuously make profits for 13 years, from 2002-03 to 2014-15, aggregating to Rs 12,958 crores. And now, in 2022, we have staged our second turnaround. At this juncture, it is necessary to create and sustain the similar impactful momentum that we had done after the first turnaround. Going forward, there will be obstacles, there will be challenges, and there will be difficulties. But with focused efforts, there will definitely be success ahead. Let's recreate the success story again. Thank you.
seconds for making small arrangements on the stage. I now request our CMD, directors and CVO to come onto the dais and join for cake cutting and celebrating a remarkable turnaround. This counts for a huge round of applause for the entire VSP collective. Now I request our directors and CVO to occupy the seats on the dais, and also I request our Honorable CMD to address the gathering at the start of the new fiscal.
My colleague directors, Shri V.V. Venugopal Raoji, Director Finance, Shri D.K. Mohanty, Director Commercial and Director Personnel, Shri K.K. Ghosh, Director Projects, Shri A.K. Saxena, Director Operations, our Chief Vigilance Officer, Shri K.V. Nagi Reddy, Commandant CISF, Atar Muhammad Hanif Saab, Chief General Managers, HODs and other senior officers, representatives of our trade unions, representative of SC and ST Association, OBC Association, representative of Steel Executive Association, and representative of WIPS. My dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you. First of all, let me congratulate RINL Collective for achieving a stupendous performance in all areas. As we have just seen, the production of saleable steel was highest ever at 5.14 million tons. The sales turnover of rupees 28,082 crores was also the highest ever, and it was 35% higher than the previous best. In terms of volume also, we achieved the best ever saleable sales volume of 5.22 million tons. This remarkable performance by the collective enabled RINL to achieve a turnaround in 21-22 by registering a profit before tax of rupees 835 crores after a gap of 6 years. The estimated gross margin of rupees 3,575 crores is also the best for any year since inception. On the production front, ably led by our Director of Operations, Mr. Saxena, we have seen that even though only 2 blast furnaces were in operation during the fourth quarter, most of the fourth quarter during the coal crisis, the yearly best production figures could be achieved in almost all the production units. So just think of what we can achieve if all 3 blast furnaces were running. So just, that is the huge potential that we see in front of us. Coke oven pushings also improved from the previous highest of 340 per day to 375.5 per day, with an increase of 10% over the previous best. And what is also very remarkable is the fact that every day, besides discussing, how much coke oven pushings we are having, we also discuss the health of the coke ovens. How many coke ovens are under repair, how many coke ovens are getting repaired, what is the timeline, how many came into operation, So this is really, I would say, a huge change in the way we are looking at our valued assets. The base mix production of 8.9 million tons surpassed the earlier best figure of 8.4 million tons. The gross sinter production of 8 million tons was higher by 4% over the earlier best figure of 7.7 million tons. Hot metal, liquid steel, crude steel, saleable steel recorded 5.77 million tons, 5.52 million tons, 5.27 and 5.14 million tons respectively, which was the highest since inspection, and I compliment the Works Collective for achieving best ever production figures in all major production units, led by our CGM Works. I think let's give a big round of applause to all the people who have really worked very hard. We also saw significant progress in the usage of iron ore fines as a cost-saving measure and increased use of PCI in order to reduce the usage of the other 2 major cost elements, which is iron ore and coal. The average iron ore slime consumption was at 24%. Similarly, the PCI rate could be increased from 98 kg per ton hot metal to 100 kg per ton hot metal in the current year at a growth of 2%. So we have in fact hit a century, in the PCI usage. So this is a very, very important psychological milestone. The PCI rate increased to 134 kg per ton hot metal in March, which is the highest monthly average. We also saw a number of records being created, under the 2 blast furnace operations. The average production during 3 blast furnaces in February 22 and March 22 was 14,150 per day, compared to an average of 16,419 with 3 blast furnaces in December and January. Further, the average PCI rate could be enhanced to 133 kg per ton hot metal in February and March from 95 kg per ton hot metal achieved in December and January. Thus, the impact of operating with 2 blast furnaces was minimized by achieving higher productivity. In 22-23, we should target a PCI rate of at least 120 kg per ton hot metal and achieve it. The coke rate of BF shop improved by 3% from 419 to 405 kg per ton hot metal, and the use of nut coke improved by 58%. The year also saw RINL achieving various accolades in its efforts towards maintaining a leadership position in energy consumption. RINL received 1,29,907 energy saving certificates, which was amongst the highest issue to any company in the country. The specific energy consumption reduced from 6.25 gcal per ton cast steel during 2021 to 6.02 GCal per ton cast steel during the fiscal year 21-22 and registered a reduction of 3% over the previous year. We were also accorded the prestigious National Energy Leader consecutively for the third time by CII Godrej Green Business Center at Hyderabad. Now coming to the HR function, which was so ably led by our Mr. Mohanty, our Director Personnel, the Jumbo COVID Care Facility was created with a capacity of 520 beds, 360 with central oxygen supply and 160 isolation beds. Many flagship programs could be undertaken under CSR despite financial stress, which has benefited the society a lot. An amount of rupees 11 crores was spent this year in the areas of education, healthcare, skill development, rural development and Swachh Bharat. Formation of a dedicated cell under the name RINL Seva to cater to the needs of retired and retiring employees. RINL employees bagged 1 Par Excellence and 2 Excellence Awards in the International Convention on Quality Control Circles, ICQCC 2021. RINL Women bagged the first prize in the All India Management Association quiz and also bagged the second prize in the All India Management Association Pragati Online quiz. So let's give big applause to our women leaders and women executives. Awarded the Rajbhasha Kirti Puraskar consecutively for 2 years, that is 2019-20 and 2021 by Government of India. Awarded the first prize for Hindi in-house magazine Sugandh for the year 2018-19. We also saw RINL teams winning the Inter-Steel Chess Championship, the Inter-Steel Badminton Championship, and they should second in the Volleyball Championship in 2021. On the commercial front also, ably led by our Director Commercial, it was a stupendous performance on the marketing front. And this has really put RINL back on track. The inventory has been reduced for second year in succession, helping the cash flows of the company. The inventory of saleable steel reduced from 2.18 lakh tons in the beginning of the year to 1.02 lakh tons at the end of the year, which works out to 7 days of sale. The net sales realization increased by about 12,200 per ton with improvement in market conditions and with focused marketing initiatives. The finished steel sales increased by 30% over the previous year. Similarly, value-added steel sales have increased by 18% over the previous year. Supplies to project segment increased by 81% over previous year. There includes projects of national importance such as the Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail corridor, Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed, Delhi-Mumbai expressway, Delhi-Dehradun Purvanchal expressway, Kadamkulam nuclear power plant, Polavaram irrigation project, and metro rails projects of Chennai, Nagpur, Pune and Bangalore. So really, let's give a big round of applause to marketing and sales department. Now, to increase the production levels, our materials management, the procurement function we have seen, they are always on their toes. Efforts are on to procure coking coal from sources other than through EJC. In the global tender, one offer is received and under evaluation. So this will enable us to diversify our procurement and make sure that coking coal is available from alternate sources as well. Procurement of new coals, Lear Coking Coal USA and Gregory Hard Coking Coal Australia against expression of interest, and Pond Fork Hard Coking Coal USA, VM PCI Coal Australia and Appen Hard Coking Coal Australia from the existing long-term supplier is under progress. Savings of rupees 20 crores in ocean freight charges achieved through chartering of Cape vessels instead of Panamax vessels for the year 2021. Industrial trial shipment of the new coal, Blue Diamond Soft Coal USA, was performed in March 22. Transfer of 27,346 metric ton of coal cargo through conveyors from the GPL per day on 1/8/21 is a new record, an average transfer rate of 19,636 per day through the conveyors from GPL in August 2021 is the highest since inception. Earned rupees 4.5 crores through the charter agency fee we just saw in the presentation. And also RINL is ranked number 6 in the top CPSE buyers on the GEM portal with the total procurement value of 1728 crores. A very unique thing that we did last year was to address the mounting outstanding amount of NMDC. The bill discounting mechanism was implemented from January 22 onwards, where RINL shall get 38 days extra interest-free credit period and also 135 days with nominal interest rates, besides managing the cash flow issues. Till now, bills of about 1236 crores have been processed through this mechanism. This is really helping us in the cash flows. In view of the abnormal increase and also tightness in the imported coking coal market, efforts have been made to substitute imported coking coals with indigenous coking coal. I think for the first time, the prime coking coal from the Dhanbad collieries of BCCL is being tried in the blend. It is our objective that the PCC and MCC to the extent of 10% in the coal blend or even higher should be tried. Since September 21, due to regulation of loading of boiler coal to non-power sector, supply of boiler coal from MCL has drastically come down. To address this shortfall, a quantity of about 1.4 lakh tons was secured from Singareni collieries. Now, on the finance front, ably led by our Director of Finance, Shri, SBI was persuaded to sanction non-fund based LC sublimit of rupees 1,000 crores to facilitate opening of LCs for coking coal procurement. Now this we could do because we demonstrated to SBI how meticulously we are meeting all our obligations on interest payments, on principal payments, and the way in which we are tackling our cash flow situations. We availed packing credit facility from SBI for rupees 300 crores, which will result in annual savings of rupees 5.85 crores. Also, we saw the limit getting enhanced to 500 crores. We also received a total claim of 43.96 crores up to December 21 towards compensation cess in proportion to zero rate sales. RINL received first prize, the National Award under category Manufacturing Public Mega in Cost Management for excellence in cost management. So our initiatives have been recognized by the Institute of Cost Management. Financial recoveries were made during the year to the tune of 22.29 crores by conducting internal audits across the organization. With optimum inventory management and cash profits generated every month, the working capital borrowings and the interest outgo could be reduced, which is one of the major contributors to the cost. We have also seen that, ably led by our Director Projects, Mr. Ghosh, the commissioning activities at the forged wheel plant completed and the first batch of wheels was handed over to the Indian Railways. As a strategic initiative, a BOF briquette and micro pellet plant is being set up on BOO basis to gainfully utilize the waste generated during steel making to produce 1.5 lakh TPA of BOF briquettes bricks to steel melt shop 1 and 2 and a 4 lakh TPA micro pellets to sinter plant 1 and 2. Construction of the plant is under progress. Now going forward, some of the points we need to focus in 2023 is increase in PCI in all the 3 furnaces, cost optimization in all the areas, maximization of power generation and minimize power imports, utilization of waste like metallurgical waste, etc., and usage of alternative cheap raw materials, increase in high-end value-added production, innovative ways of cash management, ensuring raw material security, and capturing niche markets. Some of the strategies that need to be adopted in 2023 are: One is that we have seen that the variable cost of production has increased by about 10,400 per ton due to increase in raw material prices. Thus, the net benefit of increase in NSR is about 1,800 per ton because that increased by about 12,000 rupees. The benefit in increase of production is also higher. The fixed cost reduced by about 2,100 per ton with the best ever production figures achieved by the company in 2021 with 24% growth over the previous year. Hence, at this juncture, producing more volumes will give us the cost advantage. We should gradually move away from commodity markets and move towards niche markets. SMS2 with world-class facilities is to be best utilized for such niche products. The utilization of SMS2 route for the export of 150 bloom is to be reduced and the utilization of SMS1 route for export is to be increased. The availability of imported coking coal was tight during last year due to COVID-19 and heavy rains flooding in Australia. The imported coking coal index increased fourfolds from US $111 per ton in April 21 to US $444 per ton in Feb 22. To reduce the impact of high coking coal and iron ore prices, we should continue our focus on PCI injection and iron ore slime blending. While attempts for securing coking coal are continuing, the Russia-Ukraine war compounded the situation. The imported coking coal index shot up to US $670 per ton by the middle of March 22. However, they have started to soften. Presently, they are below $400 per ton. The impact of these high coal prices will take time to reflect in the periodic weighed average costs. The prices of steel are expected to move in line with these costs as has been the trend so far. However, we should be cautious in planning the cash flows for H1 of 22-23 as the outflows on account of coal at current price levels are likely to be more than 2,000 crores per month. The planning of production matching with the emerging domestic and export demands is crucial to maintain minimum inventory levels in H1. I am confident that the RINL collective will rise to the occasion and put the company on a higher pedestal. With cash profit and liquidation of inventory, the cash flow position of the company has improved significantly. Further, the initiatives taken by us for bill discounting arrangement with NMDC for iron ore and short-term loan from SBI for coking coal have also helped us to ease the liquidity situation. We have been able to repay some of our high-cost loans and the banks have started to reduce our interest rates. So the year ahead is very challenging and I wish Team RINL will make it a successful year with surpassing all the hurdles. What really gives me confidence is the emotional connect that all of us have, with this plant. And we have seen how all the stakeholders here, our unions, the Executive Association, the SC/ST Association, the OBC Association, how much they hold this plant, close to their hearts. And I'm very sure that this emotional attachment will give us the strength to make sure that this year next should be, turnaround has already happened. Now is the time to flourish and create records in profits, create records in production, create records not just in the cash flow front, but also, meeting the requirements of our workers, their salaries, the salaries of our executives. So there's a huge list, that we have to address on the welfare front. And I'm very confident that once we make ourselves financially strong, we will be able to address all the issues to the satisfaction and create joy and happiness within our community. So thank you so much. And I look forward to a really challenging year with all of you, supporting us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring message. Under your supportive leadership, we shall continue to sustain the momentum. We assure you that we will put forth our best efforts to meet your expectations. Now it is time to propose the vote of thanks. On behalf of CSM Collective, I thank our CMD, directors, CVO, CGMs, HODs, senior officers, representatives from trade unions, C Executive Association, SC/ST Association, OBC Association, and WIPs for attending this program. I take this opportunity to sincerely thank administration, hospitality, horticulture, corporate communications, telecom, ACS and HR departments and committee members and staff of Ukkunagaram Club for their services for conducting this program. I also thank PPM, projects, marketing, finance, HR and all other departments who have provided us the latest information for preparing this PowerPoint presentation. Now I request all of you to join for high tea and refreshments arranged outside the auditorium. Thank you to one and all.